Hello and welcome to this demonstrational video for the client follow-up schedule. If you purchase this item, what you'll see is the company name will be filled in already, as will the individual name with your name. This is just licensed for one person. If you are a business owner and you would like to discuss maybe buying a product for your company with various users, please do contact us because we can customize it for you, and obviously make it specific for your needs if need be. So please do get hold of us because we can always negotiate on more users. But if you're just a single user and you want this one, that will obviously work fine. Your company name will appear here. Your name will appear here after you place the order. You can't change these cells; they're locked. Obviously, on the free trial version, you can enter these details because your the spreadsheet will expire after 90 days anyway, so it will be unusable after that. How this starts off is very simple. It's got category 1, category 2, category 3, 4, and 5. These you can change. So for argument's sake, I've actually decided to put in category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you can do is you can put your gold, silver, bronze, or you can put the type of jobs that you're doing for those clients. Any type of categories that you break your clients down into, it just makes it easier when you've got the statistics coming up, and it gives you a breakdown per category, however you want to divide your clients up. That can even be the area that they're in. That's totally up to you. Next, select by, there's two options, there's client code and client name. The reason for that, you'll see later on, you can actually pull out specific data based on the client name or the client code. And do you want to sort by name or code? If you have a unique code for every client that you have, select client code is probably better. But if you don't have a unique client code, then you can select client name. Just bear in mind, whichever one you do select, you cannot have duplicates. So if you select by client name, you cannot have a name in twice, and the same goes for the code. So I'll select by client code. Then there are bank holidays. Now, what the bank holidays is, this will show up later on if you have a bank holiday if you have a renewal date that falls in a bank holiday, it will obviously make you aware that it's a bank holiday. But there's only enough spaces here to put bank holidays in for 1 year at a time. So if you put the bank holidays in, obviously when you move into the next year, you just need to update these because they don't always fall on exactly the same date. They fall on the closest Monday, so it's not necessarily the exact same date. So you would need to update this each year with the new bank holidays. I've just put one in for now just to show you, but you'd obviously put in all the bank holidays throughout the year. So yeah, once that setup's done, we can then move on to the client database. So let's take a look and see what is there. This is the main database. As you can see, I've entered some in here already, but what you'd essentially do, because I'm sorting by client code, it's important that I put the client code in, and it's important that it's a unique number. If I put in 20, you'll see there I've already got a 20, so it'll show up and go, hey, you've got two of those. So we just put in 21. Then the client name, again, if I put the client name in and it's already an existing name, as you see there, it'll show up. So let's put that in as a unique name. Those are the only two you have to worry about, because depending on how you sort. So when I say sort, what will happen later on, you'll be able to select client number 8 and it'll bring up as per the client names, and it won't check this number, or vice versa. Here we put in a description. Whatever your description, you can just put in brief description of the client. That's up to you. Then you put in a telephone number. Now, if you put in a normal UK number, 2398876, let's just say, and you click enter, then what it'll do is it'll format it as per a telephone number. Same with the email, client21@email.co.uk. That's already a hyperlink, so if you click on that, it opens up as an email. Then what you do now is you select your client category. Now your client category, as we said beforehand, you've got those categories that we entered in on the first page. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that's client 2. How many months? That's frequency in months. How many months do we want this particular client renewed? Let's just say every 3 months. And let's just put in there, that one was on the 20th of October we started that. That's the That's the initial date. Then you can put in the last follow-up date. Now the last follow-up date, this one, if we haven't had a follow-up, we don't put anything into the cell. But now what will happen is, because there's no last follow-up date, it will base the next follow-up based on that starting date. So when you click on there, it'll give you 20th of January, which is exactly 3 months after that date over there. So you can click, yes, that's what I want. If you say, well, actually, maybe you don't want to work on that day, or whatever the case might be, and you say, actually, I want it on the 21st. If you go up and change it to the 21st of January and click enter, it'll say that date that you've inputted does not match the calculated date. If you're happy with that, then please continue, and you say OK, and it'll change to the 21st. So you can override that default date, but let's keep it for that at the time being. Now, as you will see, let's just say for argument's sake this one in October. Let's just say for argument's sake, if this was the 28th of July, this would then be due on the 20th of October, which is this month. And let's just say now you've actually updated that. So you've updated that on the 20th of October. It comes around to the day, so you know that you're actually due to update this today. You contact this client, you touch base with them, and you want to update the schedule. So you go here, yes, so 28th of October, I've contacted that client. That will stay the 20th of October, but when you click on it and throw the drop-down list, it will then give you the 28th of January. So then that will be the next list, the next time that you need to be following up with that client, and that has now been updated. So let's have a look at the statistics that come with this. This is automatically updated as you go along. It'll show you what have I done in October, what do I still need to do in October. You can see the total number of people that you need to follow up on the left hand side, and each color represents obviously each of those different categories that you've selected. So you can see what you still got to do in October. You can see what's coming up in November, December, January, February and March, and what you've done this October. You can also scroll down and have a look here. That shows you the average frequency in months. So you can see basically on average how many months is it between between follow-ups based on that category. You can see the percentage of the total. So in other words, those 8 category 1 entries make up 29.6% of the total entries. What do I still need to do in October? What's been done during October? And then the total number of entries for each different category. You can also have a look at overdue follow-ups. Now this is blank at the moment, but if you've got a follow-up that was supposed to be done in September and you're now into October, you will see that pop up on here to show you that you've got some overdue follow-ups. And you can also have another look at the chart here to see basically a breakdown of all of your entries. So we can see the majority of entries are in category 1, being the red. So that will update as you go along automatically. And then you've got this last list over here where you're able to actually select a month. So if we select October, there will be a list of everything that you have to follow up in October that you haven't done so already. If you select November, there's a list of everything in November. It updates automatically. So this is handy if you want to print out a list to give to one of your colleagues or something, or if you want one for yourself. It's got their details on there, which category and when to follow up. But just remember, you can't adjust anything on here. So when you do make these follow-ups, you just go to the client database and override. So for argument's sake, if we followed up with that on the 2nd of October, we could then go, actually the last date, we override the 3rd of January and we go 2nd of October, and then we click on there and we say yes. Next one is following up in February. And now when we go to the statistics, we'll be able to see, obviously now we've done the 2 in October and what's still to come. There's one last feature. Obviously you can come here and you can select these arrows and you can sort by any of these criteria in order to sort based on that data. So you can see all the ones are current. The current month comes up in orange. If it's overdue, it'll come up in red. If one of these dates falls on one of the bank holidays that you've inputted, it'll come up as yellow, so you'll be able to see straight away that that is in fact actually a bank holiday. Right. Well, thank you very much for taking a look at this the spreadsheet, and I hope that it works for your business. As I said before, if you do have various users and you want to create one specific for your company, please do contact us. We'll be very happy to chat with you about that. These things, especially kind of financial consultants and independent consultants who need to follow up with their clients, some of which are actually regulated that they have to follow up ever so often, whether it be once a year, once every few months, once every 10 years, whatever the case might be. This spreadsheet particularly obviously caters for anything from 1 month to 10 years. But yeah, please do contact us if you'd like anything. Otherwise, if this spreadsheet works for you, then take a look at the free download and the PDF brochure and purchase your copy. Thank you very much. Goodbye.